These are my video editing project files from 2017 and this is what it looks right now. And I have made a lot of mistakes in this process, wasted a lot of time and learned a lot over the years. And I don't want you guys to repeat these mistakes and waste a lot of your time. So this video is about the nastiest mistakes every beginner video editor makes, which isn't good at all for a professional career in video editing, especially if you have desires to work with big media companies and brands in the future. The biggest issue when you are cutting your own content is that there is no one to point out these mistakes and you keep repeating these mistakes again and again over the years. But here I am to save you from this disaster. Not only correcting all these mistakes will help you present yourself as a better editor, but it will help you save a hell amount of time and be much more efficient. Mistake number 1, not organizing your project files. A lot of beginners put all of the files into one folder and start editing. It looks nasty. For God's sake, don't do this. Please don't. Make dedicated folders for different categories of files. This is how my folder organization looks like. I have a project folder where I keep all the project files for that particular video. Next, I have a footage folder which is further divided into A-roll and B-roll subfolders. I put my main talking head video files in the A-roll folder, and if there are any B-rolls, then all of that goes to the B-roll folder. I have dedicated folders for the stock footage and music I use in that particular video. Then I have an audio folder for all the audio recordings, since I record all of my audio externally, and also if there's any kind of voiceover, then that too goes into that folder. There's a dedicated sound effects folder for all the clicks, pops and transition sounds, and an asset folder for the miscellaneous stuffs like photos and screen recording. I import all of these folders as keyword collections in Final Cut Pro, so everything is super organized inside the editing software as well. If you're using Premiere, then you can import them as media bins, which is very similar to the keyword collection thing in Final Cut. If you don't make this habit of organizing your folders right now, then it will be extremely tough for you working in the future with big production teams where you will have to hand over your project files to other people. It's a necessity for the files to be well organized when you are handing it to the other person, so that they can understand and find everything very easily. So take an oath with me right now. Okay, I don't need to do it right this, do I? So take an oath with me right now that you will keep your project files well organized now onwards. Mistake number 2, not planning your edits. Don't start editing a video right away without any planning. Randomly making cuts and editing a video isn't a very good ethic as a video editor. When you do so, you don't really know what's coming next and you are filled with suspense. Whereas having a rough idea of the video always brings about more confidence while editing and also saves a lot of your time. Here is what I generally do to plan any edit that I'm about to make. First, I go through all the footages and script, if there is any, side by side, and try matching them once with each other. Next, I go and find music matching the overall vibe of the video. Then I go and collect all the graphics, photos and stock footages that I might need to put in that video. And also I dedicate some time thinking about the video, how its structure would be, and even sometimes put it down on a piece of paper. Now most of the times you will later need more of sound effect, music or stock footages than the ones you initially selected, and it's completely fine. Mistake number 3, trying to edit everything at once. I have seen a lot of beginner editors make this mistake, including me at the very beginning, making cuts, adding music, sound effects, graphics and color grading, trying to do it all at once. This habit will waste a lot of your time, and since you are adding graphics and a lot of effects, it makes your project file insanely heavy and your computer starts to lag. Then it becomes a ridiculously painful process to trim and make cuts for the rest of your video. So here is the sequence I follow while I am into the editing timeline. First, I make a rough cut of all the footages that I'm about to use in the video and place them on my timeline. Then I go through all these pieces of clips once more and clean out all the cuts and chops. I call this process refine cutting. Once I am done with the refine cutting process, I'll show all these clips to the client or the director and let them know that these are the clips I'll be working with. Next step is audio editing. Putting all the dialogues together, cleaning out any glitches glitches in the audio, adjusting the audio levels, removing background noise, and all that audio related stuff. Then comes adding music. Now don't just add a music track, reduce its gain and think that you are done with it. Try experimenting with music. Try cutting and stitching music to match the vibe of the video. Play with the beats. Play with various effects like high pass and low pass filters. Music alone can make or break a video depending on how you used it. After I'm done with music, I add b-roll, stock footage, text, graphics and effects that generally go on top of the A-roll footage. These are the stuffs that make a project file insanely heavy and should always be done towards the very end. Last thing is color grading. This is the step that stitches your whole video together, and it should be the last step of your editing sequence, because this is the step that takes all the juice out of your computer and makes it really laggy. So these were the mistakes that you should always avoid as an editor. For God's sake, please avoid these mistakes. Thanks for tuning in. This is me, Samim, Aftab, signing out. Stay hydrated. Peace.